What's happening? Social media and everyone around the world. Welcome to episode 71. We're going to continue our discussion on disruptive technology. And today we go talk about e-commerce. How many of you in our audience have shopped online during this pandemic? I think we all have, right? I have. Let's talk a little about the e-commerce experience. How much shopping do you guys do, Eldrick and Jeremy?
For me, it's my wife that does the shopping, not me.
I would imagine. My wife does a lot of online shopping. I don't. I buy food. That's about it.
Yeah.
Put it in context. Yeah. So e-commerce is not exactly new to me. Only because it was already very big when I was in China. Yeah. Early 2000s. Okay, maybe not so much early. 2010s or so, 2010 or so. So it was already very big in China back then. You can buy everything there, and we sort of adopted that habit and brought it back when we moved back to Singapore. So it's really not something new for us, like most people would think it is due to the pandemic. So yeah, just wanted to put that in context.
Yeah. So just to be honest with you, I was kind of late to the game of e-commerce. Surprisingly, being a digital marketer, we help a lot of brands build e-commerce websites and transactions. And maybe because I build it, I know a lot of sites aren't secure as well. So I am very, I don't believe in putting my credit card and stuff online because I'm afraid that, people hijack my card. So for the longest time until COVID, I actually don't really shop online. My wife does. So, but I am very careful. I have a separate credit card that I use for online shopping only. And I'm just careful.
That's clever.
Yep. But I didn't start till the pandemic, and then I just shop for things I need. But I am not an avid e-commerce shopper. So I only use Amazon because I trust Amazon, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when it comes to e-commerce, so there's a lot of things that's happening, and through my research, right, 2021 and 2022. For example, private label luxury items. So,
Wow.
Jeremy, you're the retail guy. So I want to hear your opinion on private label luxury items. I heard, just through my research, people almost trust it more than almost big store brands in regards to quality. And it's starting to be a more popular thing, especially here in the US. There's a lot of private label websites. They're starting to sell their own products.
So you by private label, you're talking about in-house labels going direct to customers, right?
Yep.
So they don't go through a platform like Amazon, that kind of a thing, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Or rather, what? I mean, you are the point person of all of us here. So
yep.
Maybe you can just share with us what is private label. What is a private label, and how does it work when it comes to the e-commerce space?
My understanding, private labels would be what we call house brands, right? House brands, right? So it could be for a supermarket to speak, right? So Walmart could make their own detergents. They put their own brand on it. So that's private label. They control the entire supply chain, yeah? So they make competing private labels versus existing brands and products. Did I get that right, Kevin? Yeah. So whether it's in store or on the e-commerce plane, I think it's still the same thing. It's just a matter of the channel, how people reach or buy it. Yeah. So whether it's online or offline. Yeah. So I think what probably is happening is that it has to do with pricing, yeah, or value, because I do think that private labels are positioned in such a way that it should be cheaper, or in terms of value, better value, and I probably guess that that's what's driving that increased popularity in private labels, because the entire economy is not doing very well. So people, I mean, detergent is detergent, right? So yeah, so I think that's probably what's driving it, and whether it's more done in store or done what you call that online on e-commerce, I think that's also a matter of the pandemic limiting the options we get to shop. Okay, so if we talk about Kevin, you mentioned luxury private labels.
Yep, luxury.
Okay, no, luxury items would really be their own brand, right? So when
Right.
yeah, on the e-commerce platform means they go direct to customers. Yeah, like I mentioned. So I wouldn't consider Nike shoes luxury lah. Okay,
No.
but yeah,
It is
but
for
the point.
me.
But the point is this. So I think the one of the big news going around retail wise is that Nike is stopping a lot of these franchises and they are going direct to customers. So in a way, you can see that as I won't say private labeling, but they're going direct to customer, because it used to be they work with different partnerships. I think they still have a partnership with Foot Locker. They had worked with different franchises, but
Yep.
because they have set up their own website and they want more control over the communications with customer and all the good things, right? They can reach directly for personalization, customization. They have actually terminated a lot of these franchises and taken control back. So why is that example important? It is actually because now there is e-commerce, a lot of luxury brands now do have that option to go direct to customers. Yeah, and they want to do that because they can streamline the communications. They can ensure the consistency in branding and the experience. And so you see the trend going there, enabled by e-commerce. Of course, that's on the retailer end. Yeah, on the customer end, because more and more people are going online due to the fact the pandemic accelerated it. Okay, we know that e-commerce has always been there for a long time now. It's just that the pandemic accelerated and brought people like Kevin, who never got online to do e-commerce shopping, to do it out of necessity. Yeah. But we also have to be careful when we talk about e-commerce, right? What do people actually buy there? Yeah. Because to me, I guess you guys will agree as well. In the past, most of us would turn to e-commerce to buy standardized items, things that don't change so much. For example, a computer mouse, mostly IT products and electronics. Yeah, you will go and buy these things there because it is more or less the same. Yeah, it's standardized item. You do not need to touch and feel it. It will work. Yeah, because you know how a mouse looks like, a printer, things like that, or an ink cartridge. Yeah, so you will go e-commerce to buy that. Now, the change now is that because of the pandemic and the lockdowns, people are turning to e-commerce to buy what we call essential items. Yeah, your food stuff and your sorry, I keep going on this example of shampoo. Your food stuff and your daily essentials. So that could be also one reason why it's driving a lot of people to get onto private labels. Yeah, answering your question, Kevin, that's probably one driving factor
And
as well.
I think it comes down to also convenience, right? If I
Yes.
don't have to move and I'm at work and just happens I need to buy something really quick, it comes straight to my door,
Yeah.
within, and
Convenience.
now their shipping is so amazing, it's within a day, if the product's available. So
Yep. So let's look at the reasons why people will go onto physical store, because you mentioned it's convenience, right? So
right.
if it is that good, e-commerce will only grow and there will be no physical stores. True, false? Right?
Yeah.
So based on, I'm looking at reports, yeah. So based on something that was pre-pandemic, this company called IHL, they did. I think this is pre-pandemic, but I think it's still relevant today. They put on the top 5 reasons why people shop at stores versus online. Okay, just to share. So top reason. 23% of the people. Top reason is they need it now. Okay. Second reason, which is about 20% of the respondents, they want to touch and feel the item, or they feel that they need the expertise. They need the expertise in store, which means they don't want to talk to someone before they make the purchase. Okay. So about 14%, this is the third reason, top third reason. They don't want to pay the delivery fee. Okay, don't want to pay the delivery fee, and then the last two reasons, which were 12% and 11%, one is they want to support local, as in the local store.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a very community thing, invest back in the business, growing community. And the last one actually is convenience, 11% convenient. Okay, so let's look at then. So all these reasons are reasons why people will go to the physical store, which means to say the opposite of these reasons are why people want to shop online. True? False? You don't need it now. You don't need to touch and feel it. You have an expert opinion of it. Okay, I wouldn't say that you want to pay delivery fee. I wouldn't say that you want to pay. Of course, nobody wants to pay. In fact, I think there was another separate study about 1/3. Was it 2/3? I can't remember. Anyway, a very high percentage of people, they cut on e-commerce. They cut the item, but they don't hit purchase because of the delivery fee. Yeah. Because they don't want to pay the delivery fee.
I can see that.
Correct. So I think that's a very basic consumer behavior. So point being is that there is still a bit of relevance. There is still relevance for physical stores' existence. However, I think it's sort of slightly eroding because you mentioned for e-commerce, convenience is a very high factor. And if you contrast that with this survey, right, the top reason why people want to go physical store is they want it now. See where we're going?
Yep.
With Amazon Prime, you can get delivery within 2 hours?
Yep, and no shipping.
Yeah. Okay. So that has taken away two very important factors of why I want to go to a physical store. Pandemic, everything aside, all these aside, So what Amazon is essentially saying that, you want it now, we give it to you in 2 hours. So that eliminates the reason why you need to go to the physical store, because you can get it within 2 hours. If you go in your car and drive to, I think Walmart is reachable for 90% or more of the population in US within, I think, 10 kilometers or something like that. I've seen a certain report like that. Yeah. So if you get in a car and drive and get there now, so it might be under 2 hours, or it might be more, or but very close to 2 hours, for example. Yeah. And then you need to move around, pick your store, and then stand in queue and pay and all that stuff. Or maybe the item might not be in stock. Yeah.
Well, the truth is too, I feel like in America, most of the items aren't available. Like I can find more stuff I'm looking for on Amazon, or because I can do a search query for example, let's say Eldrick shirt. I can type in green polo in my filter, and it'll pull up 2,000 green polos. So for a guy, I don't want to walk through.
It's done. Yeah.
And look for a green polo, and it might not fit me, right? But
Correct.
On Amazon, I can query and go, I need a medium-sized green polo, dry fit, Nike.
So,
and I can drill down, So
yeah. So you see, the thing about e-commerce, and let's say, just for example, say Amazon, what they are essentially trying to do is to reduce the reasons you would to go to physical store. Put it this way, simply put, Amazon is great at convenience. Okay, that's what they're great at. And like you said as well, the entire, they have the entire spectrum of goods, yeah? Everything you need, everything you want, every size, you can purchase it.
And then if you're price cautious, right? Now I can sit in one place. Like example, if I go to multiple stores to shop for price, I have to drive to different stores. If I'm on ECommerce, I can look at one place and go, this is the cheapest price for that same shirt.
Yes. Yes. So the point is, Amazon is very good at delivering convenience. However, what it's not good at is the customer experience. We agree that, right? So you don't get an experience.
I feel their experience is pretty good too. So
no, compared to a physical store. I know that
you're talking to someone who never left the house.
So just for argument's sake, compared to a physical store, yes, I know there are a lot of physical stores experience sucks far worse than, if I was shopping online.
Compared to a physical store, regards to selling you something or asking about the product, yes, the physical store's better. But return wise, like Amazon's got it down to science. There's no question asked. They even let me keep my product. They're like, just keep it and then give you your money back.
Yeah, that's because it's going to cost more for them to retrieve it and send it back to you.
Yep.
Yeah. In fact, there's one of the major cost components for any e-commerce merchant or platform, the returns part. Yeah, because why? Because there's this, especially in the US, right? No questions asked, full return, shipment, everything included, right? So you have this policy, right? And guess what? You have
and they come pick it up. I don't even think
precisely. So it's really zero cost. It's so convenient for you. But guess what? There are influencers who buy tons of things, then they do all these haul videos. I bought 10 bikinis and I'm trying on, I shoot the video, and after that I return it. Okay, maybe bikini is a bad idea because hygiene factor and all that. Clothes.
Yep.
Right? So
that's true.
So there is this trend and there's this problem as well. So it's one of those costs that they have to factor in. But my point is this, right? The reason why, apart from the pandemic, the reason why e-commerce is growing and will still be on a trajectory of growth is purely because of that convenience. You got so convenient, and you can literally have it now, within 2 hours.
Yep.
Right. It's almost as instant gratification as you can get. Right. There's not going to be a shipment cost, well, depending on the merchant, right? And then no questions asked, you can return. It's so convenient, and you have the entire spectrum of goods you can compare and contrast. And so it has reduced all the reasons you would possibly have to go to a physical store.
Yeah.
Right. So now let's look at the physical store. Yeah. So what do you have there for you? Really is the experience.
The food court.
Really is the experience. Food. Food is a very, very important factor. The food court. Okay. Yeah. Food is a very important factor.
The experience,
The experience, yeah. So when we talk about the shopping experience, let's not talk about the store experience, yeah. We are very clear and very certain when we were all in lockdown mode, we wanted to go back to normal. We think about going to shopping mall, going to food court for food, sitting down and eating with friends. Yeah, even there's a restriction now in Singapore with the vaccinated and non-vaccinated thingy. But that's not my point. The point is, when you talk about experience, right? The shopping experience is really more than just sitting behind a screen and clicking. Now that we are doing so much Zoom and this kind of call as well, right? You really don't want to be on the screen, in front of the screen so much. You crave that human interaction. So you want to go out there to the shopping mall because it's an entire day off. It's somewhere other than your house, free air conditioning, which is very relevant in Singapore, which is so hot. Yeah, and then you can see friends. So it's a social thing. Shopping has become a social thing, and the physical store does have the potential to beat e-commerce on the experience side. Definitely, right? Because I always quote this example. There are a few things that the web cannot replicate. Okay, when you talk about experience, you talk about the 5 senses. Yeah, 5 senses. Can Amazon deliver smell to you? If you want to buy a aromatherapy thing, you want to test and sample the smell. Can you do that via Amazon? You can't. You can't, right? And smell is a very important sense. I always talk about the smell thing. Apart from that, the human experience, yeah, to talk to a shop assistant, right? Can Amazon do that? Yeah. Wait. Can Amazon do that? Yes, chatbots. Yeah. I'm not sure how they are. I don't know. Do they even have live chat and that kind of thing, or it's just all bots? I'm not sure. Haven't had the opportunity and chance to engage in that. But the point is there is this potential
when I go
for physical
shopping,
stores.
I don't want to talk to people.
You don't want to talk to people. That's why then it doesn't make sense.
It
doesn't make sense. E-commerce, you should be very at home with e-commerce, but you only just started. You only just started. No, I'm kind of like you. Yeah, I don't want to interact. But there's a huge difference in the store experience in terms of the store assistant in shopping malls and shops in Singapore versus US. Okay, the major difference being this: when I step into a store in US, all the store assistants are so friendly. They make sure they greet you. They, oh, would you like assistance today? Even though I am like, no, get away from me. I don't need assistance. I'm that kind of mode every time I go shopping. I will still want to react because it's just so enthusiastic. They smile and I feel bad if I don't react. You know what I mean? It's very welcoming. Okay, I can't say the same. I can't say you are another, or you prefer to mix with robots, so I can't talk to you. That's why I'm directing everything to Kevin. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So the
robots.
So in Singapore, most store assistants there isn't that enthusiasm. So
Now I
so
have
in
to
terms
say,
of experience,
see, in Asia, right? Because I've been to Hong Kong, I've been to like Asia.
Hong Kong is different.
Yeah.
Hong Kong is different. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
I think Asia focuses more on customer service experience versus the US. Only if you go to luxury brands, it depends, right? Like, well, now I'm talking strictly retail, okay? Not like America's real strong in like your Starbucks experience, like restaurant, that type of thing. But clothes, like the mall is kind of, to me, is dying in the US culture. Like no one works at the mall, and the only people that work at the mall are kids, right? And then the kids are not very focused on you. They don't care, you know. Or you almost have to beg them to help me. Like, hey, I want to buy shoes. I'm looking out for a size 8.5, you know. Please help. And they're talking to their girlfriend or the cute girl, you know. And it's like, hey, I'm a buyer. I have money, you know. It's just a different experience. But when I was in like Hong Kong, like as soon as I walk in, doesn't matter if it's a luxury brand, regular brand, like they're beelining towards me to sell me.
Because they're desperate for sales, they are commission based. But your kids in those stores are just on hourly wage.
Yeah, so it's fair. So when you're talking about shopping experience in person, I would say the U.S. experience isn't the greatest. You know, like I mean, I can walk into a Nike store, and probably for the first 30 minutes, no one knows I'm even there, and then I walk back out. You know. So I mean, it's very similar to Amazon. I mean, only if I buy something and I go check out, no one cares about me. No one's asking me what I need.
But we do agree. If done right, there's a huge potential.
Yes, there is a huge potential.
Customer service for physical stores versus e-commerce, right?
Yep. So I'm gonna throw a branch at you, okay? So with my research too, are you familiar with shoppable TV?
Wow.
So this is supposed to be very popular starting in potentially 2022. Shoppable TV, because you have all these smart TVs, right? So it's like, it's supposed to bring back, help television make a comeback. So technically if, well, I shouldn't give Tom Cruise because he's going to be old. But he's during my time. I know Tom Cruise, okay? So example, if he wears a T-shirt or whatever, they're saying that eventually you can, through your smart TV, you can select what that character, like that actor's wearing, and you can buy right away. It'll be connected to Amazon or, so they're already working on this where you can watch television and you can start shopping, like interact with whatever they're wearing or they're holding up or whatever. So
maybe relevant for US, but I do think that in Asia the more purchases are done on the mobile phone. Okay, it's a TV, it's a mobile phone.
Well, that's what they're saying. Somehow it's actually connected to your phone too, the store. So you can, what you see on television, you can interact and purchase it. So
it's the same. I mean, my point is, it's just a different vehicle, right? It's a TV, it's a mobile phone.
Vehicle.
So social commerce is already doing that, right? You see an Instagram influencer on TikTok, and there's a link to the hat they wear, the shoe they're wearing, directly to the merchant that's selling it. So it's nothing new. It's nothing new except it's on television, which is a question mark to me, because most people are on mobile devices now. There's more e-commerce on mobile devices than on TV, unless because we are working from home, we are watching the TV more or skiving, watching the TV during work hours. I just think it sounds gimmicky, or rather, it's on the wrong device because the trend is mobile, especially in this part of the world, Asia.
Yep.
Yeah, the trend is moving mobile. Yeah. I probably have a number there somewhere in the statistics. But I need to dig it up. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
So where do you stand? Where do you stand on it, Jeremy? Are you if you have to pick one? Although it's not practical too.
Yeah.
But,
If you
what's your personal preference when it comes to like?
Thanks for that call out, so I can do a bit of a shameless plug. Yeah. So if you see my
Go ahead.
LinkedIn profile or my summary, I envision that it has to be a blend of both. Yeah. Because no online or offline does well perfectly in all aspects. It's complementary. Yeah. And the popular saying from all the retail gurus is that it is not online channel or offline channel. The channel is the customer. The customer determines the channel. So back to old school marketing, right? Be where the customer is. So if it's on Instagram, you need to reach them on Instagram. If they're on television, you need to find a way to reach them on TV. Yeah. If they still go for your catalogs, yeah, look for them on the catalogs. Although that's obviously dying. So
what do you mean by catalogs? Do you mean like there's something
catalog sales?
Something for
catalog
me
sales
to flip?
Yeah,
I mean flip or.
Yeah, you see, before there was social media and whatever you have, right? It is a lot of these are catalog sales. I don't know what 70s, like Sears in the US.
Yep.
They literally built the empire with catalog sales, right? So that was huge, right? So if you take that and look at it as a medium and a form of a different format, it's just a shift. It's just a shift of the medium. Instead of a book, now it's an Amazon site. It's essentially a catalog of products you can buy, right? So yeah, to answer your question, what's my preference? It depends on a few factors. Yeah, what is the item that I'm purchasing? Whether can I wait? And usually, can I wait or not depends on the price as well. Yeah. So I think
what's that got to do with the price?
Okay, very simple. Let me make a connection later. So what I need to buy is important, because if it is something that I need it fresh, then maybe online is not the best option. I'm talking about groceries, food, that kind of a thing. But there's a shift, of course, due to the pandemic. So what I need to buy, also as we talked earlier, if I know what it is, I've done enough research to buy, say, a computer monitor. I know what to expect. I know the reviews. I'll just put an order and then get the thing shipped to me. Yeah. But sometimes I don't want to do that. Even though I know a computer monitor is a computer monitor, I might still want to see it in the store, there's a picture and things like that. So what I want to buy plays an important role. So let me address the timing and the costs together. I'm very used, or rather my household, my wife, very used to Taobao, Alibaba, yeah, because super cheap. You can get anything and anywhere, right? It would be safe to say when I was still in China, China was still the factory of the world, which means to say a lot of their things is very, very cheap because it's manufactured there.
Yep.
Yeah. And you always have excess stock that they built. So there's, they have additional items and then they can sell cheaply to get some money back. Yeah. So if it is really cheap and I can afford to wait, then I'll put in an order lah. Make sense? If I can't afford to wait, no matter how expensive, I'll still whack lah. Or I'll go out to the store and buy lah. So that's my preference. But I want to mention something when we talk about the potential of how the two are merging. Yeah. So I can't remember which store is it, but recently one of my good retail guru friends was on this presentation. I also shared it on LinkedIn. I probably was yesterday or the day before. So he mentioned this example in Nike where there's a very good integration. You have an app on your phone. Yeah, everything is on app now, right? So imagine you go and buy shoes. Imagine you go and buy a pair of shoes. So Kevin, you have kids, you go and buy your whatever Jordan shoes or whatever. You go to the
that's too
store.
expensive.
Luxury. You go into the
They
store.
get the cheapest Nike shoes.
Okay, maybe for yourself, for yourself. So you bring your kids to the store. You browse around, and then you see this. Oh, this is the one I want. Oh, but it doesn't have your size. What happens? What usually happens? You ask, can I have this in size 9, US size 9, for example? Then what happens? Let me check. The person takes your order, disappears into the back room. If the store is huge, you don't know where he or she went, and they come back 5-10 minutes later, for example. Yeah. They tell you, oh, this is the size. Oh, no, we don't have a size. Yeah. But that 5-10 minutes, what happens? Your kids could be running around. Okay, I'm sure your kids are well behaved, but you get my point. Yeah. That's 10 minutes wasted, for example. Yeah. And you probably have drove half an hour to reach that Nike store, or yeah. So in terms of time savings and customer experience. So that's how it used to be. Okay. It used to be. Now imagine if you have this app and then you really browse through whatever model you want and you know your size. You send this request there before you reach there. Or you have the app and they can trace you by the app, and you say, I want this at size 9 or size 10. And then they say, okay, sure, you have this app. We will reach for you on this app. We know exactly where you are in the mall. And then we'll contact you once we have the size for you. And you can continue to shop. Either you do it before or on site. That's time savings for you.
Yep.
That's where the thing merge, integrates, respects your time, and I think that equates to good customer service, which you probably can't do online.
And then when we're talking about this, I want to bring up also offline e-commerce, right? Is starting to be real popular, like pop-ups, kiosk, and also stores without inventory, right? You can still try everything on, but after you try, they just ship it through your app, or through the computer at the kiosk. That's starting to be real popular as well.
Let's explore why. Okay, let's explore why. Because of this entire shift to e-commerce, we now know that.
I'm starting to
Go ahead,
appreciate Jeremy a lot more because he loves games and he loves to shop.
I don't.
It's all.
I don't love
to.
It's
Okay.
all
I learned a lot.
for two.
No.
Broke.
Let me since you brought this up, let me share with you something quite funny. There's a blend on the two for me. Yeah. So every time I have this running joke thing with my son, when I switch on my PS4 and then he asks me what game am I going to play, so I'll say, oh, I'm going to play what game to buy today game. Which essentially means I will launch the app within the game to shop for digital games and buy and download or browse. Yeah, so that's equivalent to window shopping. So that's where the two blends for me. Okay, but back to my point. Yeah, let's explore why that is popular. Okay, the pandemic has brought about the fact that there are a lot of lockdowns. You don't know when the snap lockdown is going to happen, and then your store closes and don't close, and open and close and open. So the value of having a fixed rental or rather fixed lease kind of a physical store is becoming debatable. Yeah, because you don't know when the store has to shut because of a lockdown. Even before the pandemic, this is also a concern because rentals are so high. So if you are a startup brand, retail brand, you want, or maybe you could even be an online brand. You started online, you're gaining popularity. So for that kind of a brand, you actually might want to test whether it makes sense to have a physical store. So what do? You do a pop-up store. Okay, pop-up allows you to deliver that experience and have that direct contact with customers. It allows you to see if your concept works or not. And more importantly, it allows you to test the traffic or the response in the community that you are maybe planning to start your first store. Right, you can check out the people, the crowd, the timings those crowds are. Is it more of a family crowd or is it all the yuppies, singles? You can do targeting in that sense. Yeah. So pop-ups are really going to be was a very viable and very popular option even pre-pandemic, but now even more so with the pandemic because it allows you the mobility to bring around your experience to different communities to do that brand building, that engagement and that experience without long-term commitments. And you can do a lot of testing. Yeah, I believe that was what Amazon did. They were doing pop-ups within in shopping malls and all that. I think 2 or 3 years back, they were doing a lot of these pop-ups to test concept or whatever, and then they went to bought Whole Foods and all that stuff. So that could be that they are really experimenting, as we know Amazon, right? They all experiment all this data and all. So that's one way to look at pop-ups. Yeah. Which So I did I answer your question there, Kevin?
No, you did.
Sort of.
Just talk about like the pop-ups and different things. And then there's also a lot of so I want to just ask you guys this before, we end our episode on e-commerce too. So in America is popular, it's always popular, like Facebook Marketplace, what I call resale stores, re-commerce. So is that popular in Asia as well? Like buying used furniture or,
Resell, right?
Yeah, reselling.
I think that's the trend in terms of sustainability.
Yep.
Resale, second market has always been there.
But but it seemed like it's starting to shift heavily into a more e-commerce model as well. So
I think it will still depend on the type of product. I think you should be familiar also because of Hong Kong, right? In this part of the world, a lot of this resale has to do with luxury items.
Yep.
Your Prada bags, your Birkin bags, whatever. Yeah. And okay, maybe a bit generalization, but let's just take it for example. Yeah. So the resale market has always been there. Just now, it's just that you are shifting it online. But depending on the product, you still want to see it. Say if you're buying a resale Birkin bag, you would definitely want to check out whether it's intact, anything falling off, right?
Is it real?
Yeah. Is it or a scam or a AAA copycat? Yeah. So you can't really do that online, because online is, I would still like to say, two-dimensional, though you can do VR and all that, have it 360. Yeah, but those pictures can be touched up, right? So back to why you were at the physical store, right? You need to touch and feel it. So I think that is one of the things that will depend. It will depend. But based on also what I recently shared on LinkedIn, one of the models a Singaporean couple are doing is that they do this fashion as a subscription kind of thing. I think the model is that you pay $95 a year, or is it a month? I can't remember, US, and then you can pick clothes that you want to try, or you can have them shipped to you. So basically, you have a central depository of wardrobe and fashion. Because you pay this subscription, you can have endless options, put on a different shirt every day, every week, every month, and then rotate around. And for the business end, they can get designs from designers they can put into this central platform for people to choose. So there's a supply and demand, but that works wonders for sustainability, because the model we're used to is that you manufacture a lot and then people go and buy, especially fast fashion brands like H&M. Yeah, people go and buy, they keep a lot in the house, and then the fashion is no longer fashionable. You buy more, and then what happens to the old clothes? Right? No, then what happens to the old clothes? Landfill. They become landfill. So there's this whole sustainability thing, right? Because to process the textile, you use a lot of water, cotton, land, whatever, all that labor, whether they're exploited or not. So this become a different model, a different what you call that, fashion retail model. So I think that will be quite important. Because
and that's a good point too. Another thing that's becoming popular with e-commerce, I see a lot. There's a trend of renting. Like, they're renting clothes, more luxury type things, right? A luxury watch, renting furniture. I was actually talking to a brand that was interested in working with our agency, and they were doing, they did a study on millennials, and more millennials are wealthy now, making, have wealth in the US, and they don't like to have furniture, because back in the days they would, people pass down furniture, but millennials get tired of their couch, get tired of their the way the house looks. So pretty much their concept was you can go online and they'll give you like a 3D. You upload your room and they'll give you a 3D, and you can pick your furniture, and it's almost like subscription based, right?
And you can change every, I don't know, 6 months.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's good for so that's good on many ends, right? For sustainability, and you don't get bored of it, right? You're always in trend, in fashion, and you get to show off. It appeals to the influencers type. Yeah. And because we're talking about rental, and because you asked me about pop-up stores, also from this my UK friend who I do this video podcast, there is this concept whereby so a lot of malls are closing, a lot of shops are closing, right? So what happens? You have a lot of empty spaces, correct? In existing buildings, yeah. So there's this company, I think the name is called Sook, SOOK in UK. I think this concept is brilliant. So maybe you should start something and do it in US. So what happens is that this company comes in and takes the space, they spruce it up, they make it very modular or flexible for usage, and they rent the space out. Which means to say, if you have this corner store in High Street and it's empty, this company goes in, spruce up the place, and puts it on the web for rental. So if you are, say, a yoga instructor and you just need a space to train people, and you chance upon this space, good traffic, you book it for 7 a.m. to 8 because people do their yoga before they go to work, whatever, you can book by the hour. So imagine that, yeah? It's a pop-up, but it's a physical location. So you can do product launches, you can move in, rent it for a few hours, decorate the whole place with all your branding, and then get out, get your customers in, and then get out. You can do museums there. You can do classes there. So it's really like a multi-purpose space for rental, and anyone can book it. Yeah. So this is the kind of concept where is digital? Is it exactly e-commerce? Is a good blend? Is a good use? Maybe also relevant because of whatever's happened, today's market needs and all that. No long-term lease commitments due to lockdowns and all that. There's a lot of flexibility. So these are kind of the things that are actually happening that sort of blends the two, e-commerce and physical. Yeah, and which I heard and I thought, I should share since we are talking on rental and pop-up stores. So there's something that blends both.
No, this is good. So I think when we talk about e-commerce in the future, I think when it comes to business in general, you always have to look at the consumers, right? And
yes, exactly.
Their behavior and everything. And
exactly.
And a big part, I think, in the e-commerce market, since you're in retail, Jeremy, is probably data, right? And with data comes AI. So how much in your profession today that you guys are looking into AI?
My job, specifically my job. That's kind of like where my company is concerned. We are actually going more into that. I just give an example. One of the a camera is a camera, right? In-store camera, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how we think about cameras. They just record images, surveillance. Yeah. But what if we put AI into it, into cameras, in all cameras? The camera just gives you the visual, but it feeds through AI to do. It feeds through another box of software and AI computing and all that, machine learning. What if the images feeds into this AI computer machine learning thing and does other things for you on your existing camera networks? For example, detect if this person is wearing masks, detects if there is social distancing observed when you are in queue, things like that, detects a slip and fall that someone might need help within your store, detects that the shelf of detergents, going back to detergents, the shelf of in-house house brand detergents, that particular corner is out of stock because it's dark, no more merchandise there, and inform someone to stock up. So just a very small example, yeah. So that's one area, AI and all that can work for retailers. Of course, for e-commerce, we already know that, yeah. They collate all the data, and then they, like in Amazon, we are all used to people who bought this also bought that. All this is data, AI, algorithms.
Well, I
Data
think
is key,
too.
lah.
I think the AI algorithms are getting smarter, and I think the
Yes.
trend is they can also help you find the customers.
Yes, of course. So if you see before e-commerce and in the
Mhm.
past, you don't have this kind of data.
Mm-mm.
All this data is here. That same guy who comes into your shop every Saturday that buys 3 packs of milk or whatever, right? The data is here. If you're a small neighborhood store, and if you work there long enough, you know the regulars and what they buy, be it coffee or whatever. You know their orders before they say it. So it used to be that the data is there. But now with all this app, direct to customer apps, like the Nike example I shared, whatever rental platforms, what this person's preference for furniture is like, or this person jumps different style, or the last style that he asked for was I don't know, Victorian or Gothic style furniture. You have all this in the database. Those data mean something now. For you as a retailer to make recommendations, or just as a historical record, and to do predictive kind of a pattern or taste to predict what they might want next. What kind of customer comes in? Is it all males or all females? All these data, very important now. Very important now. In fact, in my line of work, we always have this. We have this traffic counting devices. A lot of people, even like 2 or 3 years back, a lot of people. I was at exhibition, and they were asking me, "So, does your traffic count for people coming into the store? Does it give you demographic details? Can I tell if it's a guy or a girl, or is a kid? Can I tell if this guy is 40 years old or 20 years old?" Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's a challenge.
AI allows you to do that. The camera I talk about feeding through the computer, it can detect roughly give and take an age, gender, and expression, the person's happy or not, with up to a certain amount of degree of accuracy. Of course, it cannot be 100%. It cannot be 100%. But the point is, at least you have this data to give you a sort of an indication if people come to your store happy or not. Imagine having this camera in, like, for the dentist, everyone's like, the face is not happy when they come in to your store because they probably have a toothache or something. Yeah, they want to extract a tooth. So that can be done as well. Yeah, that's where AI would really come in to help. Where we're talking about retail as a whole, e-commerce or not.
So with that said, so if you're worried about getting fascinated for the pandemic, that they're going to track you, they're already tracking you.
Have always
the
been.
best thing to do is throw this thing away.
And get into the metaverse. At least they will track you as a avatar.
Throw your phone away tonight. So for all our audience, if they're worried about them tracking you, don't use the computer and throw your phone away. So that's our advice, from bottoms up perspective advice. Throw your phone away, don't go work, and shut off your computer.
Here's the other advice. If you want to get out of all this e-commerce and shopping thing, right?
Don't shop online.
Yeah, get off the grid, go into the mountains and start your own farming.
Yeah, because or you're screwed either way. They have your data.
Yes.
Don't
exactly.
shop on Amazon.
Yeah. Audrey, you've been pretty quiet. Anything you want to round up for us?
I'm learning from the both of you, right? There's one, Kevin sits on one end, and then you're sitting on the other end, and I'm like, okay. But I don't.
I'm also learning, right? Like Kevin, you said that I'm the retail guy, but you look at my hashtag is new retail guy. Only because I think I'm new every day, because just too many things happening.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'm learning every day, especially in retail. It just doesn't stop there. It's exciting. It's really exciting.
I have to say, as much I enjoy this new online experience shopping, right? I still enjoy the physical store. For me, it's more the experience with the family. And I can say that's something I miss the most, right? Is it's the experience, going to the restaurant with the kids, allowing them to play. And there is something different about being able to touch and feel what you're buying, right? So, and it gives you something to do on on your day off. It gives you don't just go shopping. It's the experience of going there as well and stopping at the restaurants or the trails or different things that's outside before you get to the retail place.
Yeah,
So,
two things I want to say before we end, right? So in terms of e-commerce, we haven't even scratched the surface because we have not even talked about things like live streaming and things like social commerce. Platforms like in China is called Pinduoduo, whereby you gather as many people as possible. It's somewhat like an online Groupon, but if you gather 10 friends to buy the same item, you get a further discount of X%. That's huge. That's huge, yeah. So we have not touched this. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to say is really just a own experience, yeah. I've also shown this on one of my retail videos in the past. Who's great at doing experiences? I think we have to agree is Disney. Yeah. So in one of my experience in one of these Disney stores, I went in, I was just browsing around, and then suddenly I chanced upon this little counter where they actually have a magician there to come out, ad hoc impromptu and do magic tricks to show people. Right. That kind of experience I wasn't expecting, but it was very delightful. And just imagine, how are you going to do that online? How are you going to do that online? You go into this online page where all these magic tricks, and then they say, oh, you want to see a magician perform? Please click this video, YouTube. That is not streamlined. That's not delightful. It's very self-driven. But contrast that with my experience in Disney, it was just very interesting because I go into the store just browsing, and a magician was doing magic tricks there with the products he was pushing and selling, and then it was just live. It's real magic, right? Real magic. And yeah, so I just wanted to share the experience just to point out that a lot of things in the physical store just cannot be replicated online, which is why both exist. In short, I feel that physical stores are there for experience, and sadly, online stores are more for the transaction part, the data capture part. So those were the two things. And one last thing, one more thing that we didn't talk about in terms of e-commerce is the use of voice assistance.
Yep.
Right? Because very soon you're not going to go online to shop on Amazon because it's already there. You just go, Alexa, I want a XYZ. I want to buy Walmart's in-house detergent.
Isn't that what Kevin has been doing? Like, Alexa, close my gate. Alexa, do this.
Yeah,
and,
but you can do that. But you can do that to shop.
Yeah, you can do that now. Yep.
Precisely. And the best part, I always tell people, the best part of that is what? They have your credit card details. So you don't even have to key in because Alexa has your credit card details. On the web, yes. If you go the first time, you still have to key in those details. Yeah, you have to do the first time as well for Alexa or whatever voice assistance. But it becomes even more convenient. You don't even have to put up a computer.
Yep.
Right, you just talk. And that's going to shift all the advertising dollars from online to voice assistance, right? Guess why Microsoft, Samsung, Apple, all these are going to voice assistance? Because that's where the money is. Because if you can put your search as the number one on the voice assistant search, guess what? You'll be making all the money.
Yep.
That's where the revenue is. People are going to put in advertising on voice assistants that they'll give a recommendation to buy this brand instead of their brand.
So if you need help with your voice assistant search, so J29 Creative, we do that. So you can contact me. So here's my shameless plug.
No. It's not shameless because you proved the point. Kevin, you proved the commercial value of what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Right. It is happening. It is a viable.
And,
so
I think the days of just SEO online is gone. It's done.
Pay per click is dying, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So gotta make that change, and it's invisible because it's voice.
Yep.
There's nothing to look at.
Yep. True. So
yeah.
So before we end the night, maybe I just want to hear one thing from Jeremy. What's your take, or rather a very simple advice to people that are onto the bandwagon of group buys, like our friend Jacqueline? What's the
group buys by group buy you are talking about having
one person
what we call
buying on
bulk order
accumulating orders from people all around, maybe your neighborhood.
And
then making the purchase, and I never understood. Okay,
it's a price thing. It really is a price thing. It's a price thing.
I get the discounting. I get the volume thing, but
and somehow And somehow people probably don't like to admit when they buy together, it's kind of like a herd mentality thing. It justifies and their purchase. Oh, he or she also has it, so it has to be good. Something like that.
Shouldn't it be the reverse?
I don't know.
Oh shit, she's
I don't
buying
know.
it too. It's like,
I don't know, but I can tell you.
I shouldn't be.
But I can tell you the trend is because people are not able to travel. Yeah, there are group buys that are done. What we call in the past 代购. That means you buy on behalf of, in China, there are people who fly to Japan to get the latest things. They take all the orders in China, and they fly to Japan just to buy, and then they buy, then they bring back and then they distribute. It's the same thing. Just now it's done online. So like my wife, she goes into this one or two influencers. So they are based Singaporeans who are living in Japan. So they go around with the camera into the store. Could be a Burberry blue brand, the blue label, right? It's not available anywhere else, only in Japan. They go to the store and say, oh, this is on discount today. Is equal for XYZ. Who wants to order? And then people start to put in the Facebook Live, yeah, I want one item, 1, 2 item. They take the order, and then either they send the money straight away, e-payment, money received, and then they make the purchase, and then go back home. They ship from Japan to Singapore to the buyers. So there's another way this group buy thing has changed. It ties in with live sales, and it's not within. Yeah, it's live sales, and it's occurring elsewhere. So my answer to that is it will continue to go on. I only think primarily because of the pricing thing, and even more so now with the influence thing. Because in the past, your group buy is, you put on the web, we have this item, then you state all the specification, and people put in order, there's a spreadsheet, and then that's it, sell, get the money in, and then distribute. It's really faceless, no service included, no any form of retail entertainment at all. But that's shifting into aspects of travel, right? Because I can't be in Japan, Burberry's blue label store. Is this unique aspect to it? It's not available in this part of the country or this part of the world. And then people can be looking at the store real time and pick up what they want at the discount price real time. So that's what group buy is evolving into. It's real time, right?
I guess my question. Let me refine my question, and let's
Sure.
make it real quick. I guess my question is how do we make money out of this thing? I don't just want to help people buy stuff, right? I want to.
No. Good question. Good question. Good question. So based on the Japan thing, right? I also have the question: how does this person make money, right? I would do it, right, if it makes money. But I think they charge like a processing fee. But I think we cannot only just think of making money, because I think there's a lot of work that is invisible to us. Because imagine you're taking the order, and then would you pay on credit on behalf of the customer first if the person hasn't sent the money to you? You need to make that choice, and then the commitment is just that on the text, and the person changed their mind later and say, I don't want it anymore. I don't want to wire. I didn't wire the money back to you. I changed my mind. Then what happens? Yeah, there is money to be made, but I don't think it's easy money. It's not as easy as we see. Yeah, because you have to do the logistics, the payment, the shipping, and all that. Taking the orders. What if you make a mistake? Have you paid the money out first? There's this risk to doing business, as with everything, I think there's money to be made because it depends on how you want to do it, mark up the margin, or you have a handling fee. But whether that scales with, do you make more when the big group is bigger or not? I think it depends, because the effort remains to be there. It's still very labor intensive. Put it this way, very labor. You cannot automate it. You can't automate a robot to go to the shop and say, pick an order. This bag is on discount today. Which one you want? And there's also the aspect of the person going to the store and talking to the store people, say, can you allow me to do that, to do this live stream? Yeah, there are a lot of these things that cannot be automated. Put it this way. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Indirectly, I think.
But
I'm trying to figure out if Jacqueline is profitable. But you
ask her.
You paint a picture. You probably
operational.
A picture.
Yeah, you need to think of the operation part. That's what I mean. Yeah, it might look glamorous, but there's a lot of operations. In fact, the case I talk about, the Japan person who buys on behalf of, I think her sister is also, according to my wife, her sister is doing all the orders over here, taking the orders, doing the transaction, and all. It's two locations, and doing the distribution. Yeah, so these are work we don't see. So I don't know whether there's money to be made. Yeah.
So the key is, so with this episode is automation, technology, disruptive technology. So if you want to make money, you have to get in the bandwagon of understanding how tech can make things more efficient. Efficiency equals profitability, and yeah,
And the trend,
so,
and the trend.
and
Whether
the trend.
it's the consumer driving the trend, or you're putting the trend there because you know consumers will hop on board. That
Exactly.
is something you need to determine as well. Before
And
you
then
just
the big
disrupt.
thing is, if you're thinking about doing e-commerce, it's also highly competitive now. You
Yeah.
know, so if you got into e-commerce, 7 years ago, yeah, it's lucrative. If you're getting into e-commerce today, it's just like opening a retail store back in the days. It's no different. It's just as competitive. So I always, when I hear people, oh, I'm going to open up this e-commerce store or to build this website and I'm going to do this and make a bunch of money. I don't want to break the news. I work with a lot of brands and I build a lot of e-commerce stores. And I can say there's only a handful that I see that's going to be even profitable because it's highly competitive. It's not like you can wave a magic wand. It's good marketing, good content writing, automation, how you get distribute your products. It's do you have a good story behind the brand? There's just so much components to doing e-commerce today. It's no different than opening a retail store. And get ready, you got to spend money to make money. So it's not like, oh, it's a lot cheaper to start e-commerce.
I think that's a good point for us to exit this conversation. Just to give a little, just to give a little context and something for our viewers to think about. So, Kevin, what's the capex or the capital expenditure that's required to build up a website that is geared towards e-commerce, whether it's selling products or selling services? What's that? What's the initial capital outlay?
Nowadays, if you think about it, I'm not big on reinventing the wheel. So I don't think today, if you want to get into the e-commerce game to do a customized website, there's Shopify, there's WooCommerce, there's all this stuff. The cart is already built, right? And then you just pick the merchant account. So the merchant account, they're always about 2.4%, all the way up to like 4%. It just depends, right? Where either you're paying them transaction percentage, or you pay a lower percentage than you pay subscription fee, right? And then of course, if you open the box, Shopify, people they tell you it's very easy to build, right? It's you open the box, it's ready. The truth is, it's not. If you're not tech savvy, it's a work. You can hire someone like us, and we spend maybe 10 hours, or you can try to do it yourself, and it takes 1 month. There's a learning curve. So really, for a decent website, e-commerce, you're looking at even utilizing a WooCommerce or Shopify, you're probably going to drop at least $5,000, right?
$5,000.
Yep, USD, right?
Is that a raw cost, or does it include like ongoing?
Yeah, this is just a raw cost to set it up. And then a lot of different Shopify development shops or different places, they might charge you per product too. Are you going to load the product, or am I going to load the product? Because there's no such thing as free lunch, right? All of us know that, right? So you need someone to upload the product. And then after uploading the product, what about the images? Those don't magically just happen, right? And the big part of e-commerce that people forget is the photography. So just like Jeremy C. just said, if you can't touch, you can't feel these items, you won't see it. So if you look at Amazon, if you look at a line of products, it can be the same computer, but the person that has the better photography usually has more people buying it.
Or the 3D modeling.
Yeah.
Or the 3D modeling.
Do you want to invest in a light box and do it yourself? And there's a learning curve. Now you have to buy a DSLR or a good camera for product. Do you know how to edit? or do you hire an agency and they take the picture for you? So then you're looking at another, maybe depending on how many products, if you have 1,000 products, your photography cost is going to be a lot higher. If you have less products, then it's easier. Then you hire someone to take the photos. So you're talking about another potential 5K and just
on top of the 5K.
Yeah.
And one last thing. Yeah. If with a physical store, you are there in the corner. People will pass by and see, oh, there's a store here. Let me check it out. And then there's word of mouth. You need to put pay-per-click advertising, search, SEO, SEM for an online store.
And then, and then after you have your store built, how are you going to get people there? People forget. People build websites every day, and they think it's just magically going to just be
the customer's going to come.
And people are just going to come. Do you know if you're even a digital marketing agency, if you don't do any SEO, I'm in a flood of 100 million agencies in this whole world, no one's going to find me. So like, how's your target audience going to find you? Or so now you have to look at social media, SEO, SME, all that stuff. So are you going to do it? Do you have time to do it? Or are you going to hire someone? If you hire someone, that's another maybe 5K a month, So it all adds up. So that's why I was saying opening a retail store in e-commerce today, maybe it's not that much of a difference, instead of paying rent for a high traffic location, now you're paying to drive traffic
Google
to your location.
You're paying Google. Google is the biggest landlord for e-com stores.
So I think these final 10 minutes of our conversation on the topic of e-commerce is actually, it's worth deserving further exploration, which we'll put it in what we didn't manage to discuss into our weekly newsletter, which is Insights Insight, because I think that people underestimate the effort that's required for e-commerce success, like way under. Like seriously, like people, if you can't, if all you have is a blueprint, but you can't think through operationally what to do next, what's your fallback plan, what's your cost, and things like that, I think it's worthy to just go through the information that we're gonna put across that is actionable to you in our newsletter, and then take a step back, think about it, like, really, is this something that you are willing to do?
Invest,
and that's what we do for Bottoms Up Perspective, right? Because we want to take what we know and share with others who have aspirations. So don't be crushed by life, but just know what you're after, up and against. Yeah. So that's how I think about it.
Because you also have to look at even drop shipping and all that stuff. And if you think about Amazon alone, right? I hear a lot of people now, oh, I'm going to create my own product. Oh, I don't have to spend money on a website. I just post it on Amazon. Amazon alone, if you don't know what you're doing, there's ways to help your products move up within Amazon itself. So you also need to know keywords. It's just its own SEO engine within Amazon. You have to know how to tag your products. There's ways to do photography. There's Amazon partners that get better results. So there's things. Amazon alone is its own business, So I mean, it's complicated. It's not as easy as you think. That's why there's Amazon consultants.
And it doesn't stop there with the sale. What about returns?
Yep.
How you do credits backwards the other way. So
yep. A lot to talk about. So
a lot.
Yep.
A lot.
Shall we?
Thank you everyone for
the evening, Kevin. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you everyone for tonight. Later.
Okay. Bye guys.
Later.